Divine greetings and gratitude, tribe. Welcome back to the Saiyonan archives. I was in the process of redecorating and things like that, and getting some things moved out of the office and into the living room space. And for whatever reason, I just felt called to just kind of stop what I was doing and give a quick reading. And as stated, I really did want to just give you guys a quick reading. So if you guys hear anything in the background, it's more than likely my children because they are up. My 4-year-old is up, busy, and very vocal today, very loud. So if you hear any noise in the background, it's more than likely my 3-year-old going on 4 years old. His birthday is October 5th. The reason why I wanted to stop was because I have been just wanting to use every moment I can to pour into you, whether it be through readings or whatever it may be. And I just wanted to, like I said, just kind of stop for a second. And although I'm not rushing spirit at all, I want to just, like I said, just kind of give whatever messages are needed at the moment. Immediately, I'm hearing spirit tell you to let your guard down. Somebody is a little bit guarded. Someone is overprotective of something. They may be overprotective of their space. Right now, spirit is saying that the reason why you have your guard up right now is because there's some things that happened. For some of you, this is going to come out as like a relationship, but spirit is asking for you to let your guard down. The spirit is saying that it really does want you to focus on not just self-care, but there's something that happened in your past where you kind of didn't want to give that a chance and you went against your intuition. And then it's not okay. So spirit is saying that it's not a punishment, but what it is that you knew that you shouldn't have gone with that choice or whatever it was, whether it be a relationship or whether it be a job or whatever. And then you got into it anyway. And then you ended up not having the best time, or you ended up like suffering for it and things like that. And so now that something else is being presented to you, it almost kind of has you guarded, like, well, the last time that I did this is what happened. But then spirit is giving you a gentle reminder, well, that the reason why this happened was because these people or this person did not fully have your best interest at heart. They came into it being very selfish, but at the same time, you decided to give it a chance because you have a big heart. It's not like you did it with the intention to be hurt. It's not like you did it with the intention to be used. It's just that for whatever reason, you decided to go against your intuition. And again, this is not a punishment, but this is what spirit is saying, is that this is a reminder that it's important for you to align. If you are not sure about something, spirit is saying is that I really want you to keep your heart open. I want you to use extreme discernment, but also I want you to let me give you the details. I want you to let me meaning spirit, I want you to allow me to give you the insight, spend some time with me, go out in nature, connect with me, because when you do that, I can give you signs and messages that you're on the right track, and I can let you know the difference between you utilizing your feelings and logic and emotion versus you using your intuition. I do feel also that with the Queen of Cups, with the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups isn't here. With the Queen of Pentacles here, I feel like she takes her time and she's mastered something. She's mastered this, the material realm in practical realms, and she's mastered something through practical means. And so what this to me means is that you more than likely are in a space where, I just heard the word cultivate. You're really wanting to focus and you really want to cultivate this thing. It could be you disaligning or not misaligning, I'm sorry. It could be you breaking away or apart from something or someone for the sake of putting more time and effort and love and attention and nurturing into something else. And spirit is saying is that it wants you to let your guard down, because if you don't, if you're constantly doing things with your guard up, with this energy of I don't want to be hurt again, I don't want to be hurt again, the spirit is saying is that you can accidentally attract things or people that would end up hurting you. I'm hearing the word thorns. So it's almost kind of like you're saying, I want these roses. I don't want to get plucked. I don't want to get plucked by the thorns. I don't want to get plucked by the thorns. But then next thing you know, you mishandle it, and then you ended up being plucked by the thorn. Spirit is, I just heard like the word detail. Spirit is wanting you to go back and to pause and ask, okay, are these roses for me? or you, for whatever, you could be the rose. You could be the rose, and someone else is saying, well, I don't want to get hurt, I don't want to get plucked, I don't want to get this and that, and then they mishandle you, and in turn they end up getting plucked, they end up getting, you know, stabbed a little bit, you know, with those thorns. So there's this aspect of being very careful with whatever this thing that you're trying to align with. And also, if you are going through any type of breakup, I feel like, I just heard new hope. I'm not someone that falls into the idea of hope, but Spirit is like, it's not necessarily about hope. It's more so about the fact that if you take your time and you let your guard down, then that's when Spirit can pour that love into you, and Spirit can send, I'm hearing a messenger. Spirit is sending a messenger to you. Spirit is sending someone to you that can remind you that love does exist, that happiness does exist, that fulfillment does exist. You have to let your guard down a little bit, because if you keep having it up, you're going to ultimately end up blocking your blessing. To go back to the very beginning, Spirit is saying, remember that when you decided to go into this, you went against your intuition. So lesson learned. We all go through it. I went, well, not everyone, but a good amount of us go through it. I am someone can speak, you know, to that, because I was someone that went against my intuition a lot, because I was afraid of being wrong. I was afraid that like I said, I would be wrong, or that, you know, I would be made fun of, and whatever else I was going through at the time, or I thought that my powers just weren't legit. I thought that other people were more powerful, but I learned a really hard lesson. Truly, I learned a really hard lesson with going against my intuition. And I learned that, and this is not me boasting or bragging, I learned just how powerful I was when I stopped going against my intuition. And I'm saying this to you because someone here has a really strong intuition, and Spirit is saying, I don't ever want you to go against that, because what ends up happening is you start feeling resentment, you may start feeling remorse, you may start feeling all of these unnecessary feelings, or maybe they are necessary, right? I can't judge whether or not they are necessary or not. Speaking of judging, you do have the Judgment card here, and this is letting me know that this is something where, yes, you do want to utilize your intellect, but this is coming up as enlightenment. Spirit is saying to you now that it wants you to use your intuition and allow yourself to receive revelation. This is a revelation coming through for someone. This is a revelation coming through. This could be a revelation regarding, again, that relationship, or whenever you decide to detach or become, like, break away from whatever this thing is, an old habit, an old friend, an old relationship, right? It could be any one of those things. When you decide to break away, things become a lot more clear. If you guys hear anything in the background, that's Skylar. Babe, Skylar has to, can you help her with that? Yeah, Skylar's trying to get in there. Sorry about that, you guys. This is home life right now. So basically, yes, with the Page of Cups here and the Moon, I want you to, Spirit is wanting you to understand that it wants you to approach things with a bit more of a mature attitude, because when you go against things and when you fall into naivety, the Page of Cups here is coming up as naivety for whatever reason. And this is also so interesting because I kind of see the Queen of Pentacles kind of falling into naivety, because it was open at one point, but then it closed itself off. I don't know why it's coming through that way. Traditionally in tarot, it would be completely different. It would be like, no, that's not it at all. But that's just simply the way that the messages are coming through right now. So I have to honor that. So the fact that you have, again, the Page of Cups, the Moon card here, you have the Judgment card, you have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Someone is on guard. The Hangman here says, instead of you being on guard, how about we take a moment to pause, we take a moment to recalibrate, we take a moment to just kind of allow ourselves to suspend so that we can watch and observe. I see the Hangman as observing. Instead of you going directly into this, maybe take some time to observe, but you also want to let your guard down so that it's not too thick, so that it's not too much brick. Like, I'm hearing like the word brick and mortar. You don't want this to be so brick to where nothing can get in and then nothing can get out. I know that I use that metaphor a lot, but that's essentially what it feels like. Spirit is saying is that whatever this breakaway was, whatever this, this sad story, whatever this breakaway was, Spirit is asking for you not to allow yourself to believe that, again, happiness is not true. The word is disconnection. I feel like someone is disconnecting, but they're disconnecting. And it's a good thing that they are disconnecting, because when you disconnect, you take the time to listen. Spirit is wanting you to listen to something. I'm also hearing for some of you to listen to the trees. There's something about you listening to the trees or going to go talk to trees And the reason why they're asking for you to go talk to trees is because it's something about how they have access to information about energies that you may not know of, especially the older trees. Like, there's so much wisdom in these trees. Like, they want you to talk to the trees for whatever reason, for some of you. If you guys hear anything in the background, that's Skylar. She is in her litter right now. I hope that does not bother you or that doesn't weird you out. Also, when I'm done, I wanted to show you guys my bookshelf if you want to see it. Okay. You probably don't, but I'm going to show you anyway. Because I'm proud of it. Oh, okay. Wow, see, watch and wait. Exactly. Watch and wait. The abundant universe will provide. Be peace. Wow, that's so beautiful. Oh, okay. I know y'all saw that. Time to let go. Bring a gentle touch. So the fact that you do have these here as well, it makes me kind of feel like it's making me kind of feel like, again, when you allow yourself to open up a bit after this disconnection, after this breakup, or after this walk away, when you still keep your heart open, and this is actually kind of making me want to give you guys a story, like a love story that is true, by the way, and I feel like I'm going to share it via story time. Let me know down in the comments if you want to hear how I met my partner and, you know, that process and things like that after my former husband transitioned. I can explain that in, you know, in enough detail to give you the truth and the accuracy of the story if you want me to, but for whatever reason, I'm hearing like it's one of those things where if you still allowed your heart to be open even after this breakup or even after this disconnect or even after that, then you'll be surprised as to what you would receive, and you would be surprised at just how much love, how much abundance of favorable outcomes you will actually experience if you kept your heart open anyway. And I feel like I just heard the words tried and true. The Queen of Pentacles has a very set way of doing things, right? Like, she has a very set system, and at times she simply does not deviate away from it because it gets results. But Spirit is saying is like, I want you to change it up a little bit, and once you change it up, watch and wait. I want you to see how it plays out because things are always changing. You may have approached love in this way, you may have approached work and career in this way, but imagine if you decided to change it up a little bit and then watch and see how it all plays out and keep your heart open and keep your mind open. You'll see just how drastic and how much abundance of whatever it is you want will come flowing into you. I do feel that for some of you, you are 100% ending a relationship, you are moving away from a job, or you could be moving away from an aspect of your relationship where you experienced lack within yourself, with that partner, and with the whole relationship as a whole. So this could be two people deciding that they no longer want to be in this area of their relationship. They want better. So what they do is they say that collectively together we'll let go of this so that we can receive this. But it takes a conscious effort. For some of you, I do feel like you are waiting on something to happen. You're waiting on something to transpire. And for whatever reason, I'm hearing that Spirit is wanting you to be open because there's something that could happen that could change the trajectory of whatever the story is. It feels like a sad story. And then Spirit, for some of you, is saying this may feel like a sad story, but allow yourself to keep your heart open so that the story can kind of change. Like, it could be rewritten, I'm hearing. And it's not even just about being rewritten. It's also about letting the story play out. And then when this chapter or when this book ends, when you do the next one, because you kept your heart open throughout that process, you then can receive more downloads and more information so that when you write the next story, you'll have another storyline that's a lot more, I don't know why the word is like extravagant and exemplary, but you have a more favorable story to tell, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the energy and the vibe that I am getting. The fact that you do have the moon here in Judgment, I do feel like this is something that you more than likely have felt within you. And I also feel like there's such a dramatic shift that's happening from within you. It's this emotional shift that I'm hearing. It's this psychic shift. Like, your psychic gifts are also, for some of you, I know the messages are everywhere, you guys, just kind of bear with me if you don't mind. I know that for some of you, this process kind of jump-started something and you're able to see past the illusion now, because someone, going back to what I was saying about the naivety aspect, I feel like as as it pertains to that, that's what's happening now is that you're starting to kind of understand and peer through and move past the illusion. So when you allow so Spirit is saying is that when you level up these spiritual gifts and whatnot, because that's exactly what's happening now, you'll be able to lower the wall, to open up a little bit more, because you'll know and you'll see that if you open up to this, right? Because you have to be able to discern. That's what Spirit is saying. Discern what you open yourself up to. And you're learning to see past the illusion, right? So when you do that, you start to gain more clarity, revelations start to come through. And you'll know that, okay, this is the truth. This is intuition above everything else, above all feelings, above all emotions, above all illusions. And I do feel like for whatever reason, for some of y'all, you're becoming more at peace with this. So Spirit is saying is that it wants you to be at peace with this situation. Spirit is wanting you to open yourself up a little bit so that you can receive more abundance, more love, more blessings, more prosperity, and all those things. Spirit is wanting you to tap into your ability to surrender to the process. Of course, Spirit is also asking for you to use your discernment and allow yourself to be open enough to receive these downloads, to receive what you need, to receive the revelations. Because when you rush into things, of course, right, or when you go into things not naively, then you'll end up suffering in the process, and you don't want to suffer in the process. Also, Spirit is saying to watch and wait. When you decide to do things differently and you watch and you wait, right, and when you do things differently, you watch and you wait, you'll start to see just how everything falls back into alignment. So if you've been wanting peace, if you've been wanting confirmation, this is your confirmation. Things are happening, things are aligning. If you don't need to put your hands in it, Spirit says don't put your hands in it. If you want things to change, then you have to allow it to change, but Spirit is asking for you not to rush to change. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm feeling here. Also, when Spirit says to bring a gentle touch, the reason why Spirit is saying this is because Spirit doesn't want you to just go into this trying like so hard to change it, to force it to be what it isn't, because that in itself is you falling into an illusion that you have that much control to where you can make it what it isn't. And Spirit is saying it doesn't want you to do that. What was that? Okay, so with bad health coming through, Spirit is saying don't make yourself sick over this situation. Like, don't make yourself sick over it, because stressing, trying to change it, trying to make it be what it isn't, like that in itself can cause your body to react, because your body will then be in survival, and Spirit is not wanting that. I just heard someone coughing. If you're getting over a cold, if with your permission, I would love to say that I know that you will get better soon, for sure. Whoa. Main female and coffin. Spirit, can you please tell me, like, what is this coffin situation? Okay, lovers. Yep, exactly. So basically, whatever the situation was that you were in, I feel like it was draining you. Like, this situation was absolutely draining you. It was not good for your health. Every time you were around this person, it just felt like a sickness. Like, if people are not giving you life, if you're not able to give someone life, and if that energy is not reciprocal, and if it's not working together, it's going to drain you, which could ultimately affect your health. Spirit is saying no, it does not want you to be in this situation, because the more that you are, the more that it drains you. It takes your life force. I'm not seeing this as like literal death. However, I don't want to speak this onto you, but for some of you, you may have gone to a funeral recently, and when you were around people, it's like you just couldn't take it because of how much negativity and how much negativity and just like bad vibes you felt. And so it's like you just had to step away, and you just didn't go back, because you're like, you know what, I'm so sorry, I can't be in here because it's making me sick, it's making me nauseous. As I say that, I feel myself ready to kind of vomit. So I don't know if someone is like sick to their stomach with all this energy. Spirit is saying is like, this is not, whatever situation that you were in right now, Spirit is not wanting it. Spirit is saying, I need you to exit. So I feel like the reading is like pivoting a little bit, but I do feel like this is not, whatever this lover or whatever, whoever this was, this lover, this relationship, whoever, like, it really does feel like it's a no-go. Like, Spirit is like, no. Like, if you are trying to enter into something with this, no, absolutely not. There's better. Like, there is so much better. And this is speaking directly to divine feminine energy. Spirit is saying no, absolutely not. Okay, courtship. Okay, what else do you have here? You have courtship, community, a family room journey. Okay. The last of this reading, it almost kind of feels like, and it's so interesting that we talk about living room, because living room, you may be wanting to spend time to yourself, or like time in like this cozy place. I'm seeing somebody have like a blanket, and then they have like some hot cocoa and they're sipping on it, or some of you it's tea. I just heard like elderberry tea. You want to, Spirit is asking for you to drink some elderberry tea. For some of you, elderberry tea with lemon. You may want to add some cinnamon to it. If you like a cinnamon sticks, it could be Ceylon. I think it's called Ceylon cinnamon, or some type of cinnamon aspect to it as well. You want to add that in there as well to kind of spice it up, to kind of get the heat going. For some of you, you may want to drink ginger tea. Yeah, your guys are asking for you to stay home and drink some tea. Like, instead of going to this party, or instead of going to work, you know, use like a mental health day, or like a sick day, you're not sick, a healing day, to just stay home, get cozy, drink some tea, some hot cocoa, and just enjoy being in your space. Like, I'm hearing to be in your space, because the more you do that, the more you can take time to heal. The more that you be in this space, I feel like it can help you along with the journey. And that's exactly what it's saying. I feel like you're kind of refusing something right now. You're like, I don't want to hang around you guys right now. Just leave me alone. Let me just be in my space, because that's where you can bring yourself back to health. Okay, I feel like that is it. That is all. I can't show you my or maybe I will. I'm gonna insert a clip somewhere when we're done. But anyway, I have to end this because my battery's about to die. I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you need anything from me, make sure that you check the comments down below. All links that you'll need will be available down there. Also, the Etherium is open. I am, working my magic, making your oils, making your candles, and things like that. Let me know what you guys need down in the comments. You can send me an email. Everything you need will be down in the comment section. Check the description for any other additional details. I love you so very much, and I'll catch you in my next video.